I cannot believe I'm saying this, but the channel has received its first watch to review. What a momentous occasion, and it's all down to your guys' support, liking and subscribing and supporting the channel. And it's none other than this watch that I previously was praying to the watch gods for. I wanted Christopher Ward to watch that video and send this watch out, whether I will like this watch. And very difficult to get hands-on with this watch. So Christopher Ward, if you're watching, send me one. That probably won't happen. And I want to say thank you to Andrew over at Christopher Ward for sending the watch out. All down to your guys' support, and really grateful. All the support you've shown the channel, and keep on supporting. So make sure you like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon. Of course, the watch that they have sent out is a C65 Dune automatic bronze in 38mm. I've been looking for a bronze watch, and I feel very privileged to be able to get hands-on with the watch that made me want to get a bronze watch in the first place. Now, while I'm super grateful to Christopher Ward, I owe it to you guys to give a 100% honest review of this watch, and whether I will end up getting this watch or not, you'll have to wait to the end. But it's quite clear to see that I'm very excited about this watch and about this video. So let's get into it. And I'm going to start off with an unboxing now. Looking at all the footage that I've seen online, all the pictures of the packaging that the Christopher Ward comes in, it did look a little bit cheap, but actually getting hands-on, the materials are very premium. The outer black box is in almost a leatherette rubber material, and the wood is solid. It's heavy with a magnet, so it closes very precisely. Generally very impressed for the first impressions, the packaging and how this is presented. So 10 out of 10 for packaging for me. You've got to remember, this is a £1,000 watch, and so I was skeptical as to how it would be presented, but also the finishing and the quality, which we'll get into. What have we got here? We've got a retro styled field inspired bronze watch with a COSC-certified Swiss movement, a super wearable 38mm size. This is the C65 Dune bronze, rugged, raw and romantic, and honestly it's probably one of the most unique looking watches I've ever handled. And the reason I say that is because of the dial. This was what really intrigued me and wanted me to get hands-on with this watch in the first place, was the dial. This dial is just as good as it looks in the pictures. It really lived up to my expectations. But start off with the bronze case. Christopher Ward uses a special bronze alloy that ages and patinas over time, as many bronze watches do, giving it a complete unique character for each wearer, and it's like your own personal watch on your wrist. It has a 38mm width, 11.7mm thickness, and 43.6mm lug to lug. It sits really well on the wrist. I've got an average wrist size 6 3/4 inches, and I really feel like 38mm is just the sweet spot. It's the light catcher case design, which is brushed and polished, and it genuinely glows under light. I've tried to get footage of it in the sunlight as well as in normal light as well, and you can see that the glass box sapphire crystal adds that vintage vibe whilst keeping things very durable. I'm really impressed with the case size, really impressed with the dimensions, and it really sits nice and snug on the wrist. And I really feel like I'm starting to appreciate smaller watches now. My Seamasters, of course, are 42mm, and I've always been drawn to bigger watches. But my Breitling Top Time being 36mm, and now this 38mm, it's just a lot more comfortable on the wrist. 10 out of 10 for the case. You can already start to see, I know that this is a sample, a prototype that they've sent me, but you can start to see that in areas the bronze is starting to darken, and I really like the aesthetic of that. Makes you very excited. Now moving on to the dial, which for me is the highlight. This is where it gets spicy in my opinion. The color of this particular dial is called Dusk, paired with this sand wave texture that gives it serious depth. It's got that matte lacquer finish, and then boom, you've got this super luminova old radium lume that glows like it's been plucked from an old oil lantern. Honestly, the lume is great. I haven't been able to get great footage of that. That's due to my lack of experience when it comes to cinematography, but I promise you that the lume is unbelievable on this. Great legibility, the new seconds hand shape, that's subtle but noticeable as well. This, I wasn't a huge fan of the Trident's second hand, so I'm happy that this watch doesn't have it. I want to move on now to the movement. Under the hood, we've got a Solita SW200 COSC-certified movement. Now I want to remind you, this is a £1,000 watch, and I want to say at this point in the video, you are getting such a great watch for your money. And I think this is due to, I watched a video with the Christopher Ward CEO. The name has slipped my mind, I apologize, but he mentioned that they have this sort of model that they follow where they ×3. So essentially a lot of other brands probably ×6, ×7 the amount that they sell the watch for. So this is a £1,000 watch. If we use the logic there, this is probably cost around £350 to manufacture. They times 3 and sell it for £1,000. Now, honestly, the finishing of this watch is just as good as any other in my collection. I've got a Breitling Top Time 1965. I've got a No Time to Die Seamaster and also a 1994 Seamaster Professional 300. And this is up there when it comes to quality and finishing. And I'm so surprised I'm saying that, because those other watches are so much more expensive. And it's starting to kind of mess with my mind a little bit, because we know that, of course, brands like Omega, brands like Rolex really do charge the customer a lot more than obviously of what the manufacturing costs are, and it's to be expected, because this is what brands that, you know, really well-known brands can do, because the demand is there from the customers. But again, unbelievable value for money when it comes to this watch. Sorry, going back to the movement, it has a 38-hour power reserve, 26 joules, shock protection. It also has the signature Christopher Ward rotor finish, which is visible through the display case back, and again, beautifully finished. The finishing here, I can't stress enough how good and impressed I am with the finishing on this. So it's an honest, durable workhorse movement, but the COSC certification just takes it up a notch. It's -4 + 6 seconds a day, officially a chronometer. And again, for £1,000, you're getting such an accurate watch for the money. It blows my mind that this watch is £1,000. Honestly, it really does. When it comes to the strap, this is the configuration that really stuck out to me. I really like this leather strap. It's called their Orlando leather strap, and it's a really supple, soft leather strap. There's no break-in period needed, it seems. It's a tobacco brown tone, which complements the bronze beautifully. And again, like the case, it will age with wear. I really like this combination. Of course, you can get it on the bronze metal strap and other various leather straps as well, but this configuration I think is just beautiful with the dial as well. Now, final thoughts. Sorry, pretty clear to see that I absolutely love the watch. Now, when it comes to negatives about the watch, there are a couple of negatives. It has to be a balanced review, and I told you I was going to be completely honest with you. Overall, I absolutely love the watch. It's quite clear to see that. But there are two things, which are pretty small things when you think about how many positives I've already mentioned. And the first thing is when it comes to winding the watch. I have a couple of watches obviously that are automatic, and then I have a manual wind movement in the Breitling. But the feeling you get when you manually wind the movement isn't very pleasing. There's a friction there which feels very odd to me. It feels very different to the Omega, very different to the Breitling. I don't want to say it feels cheap, because that isn't the right sort of adjective to use here. It just feels very different, but it's not a pleasing feeling. So when I am winding the watch up on a day-to-day basis, it didn't give me that kind of joy that I get from winding my Breitling and winding my Omega. That's the first negative. The second negative is to the crown. There is this red sort of material you can see. Now, from what I can understand, this is the red material, but please correct me if I'm wrong, those that may know this. This is almost a warning to the wearer that if you can see this red material, it's that the crown hasn't been fully screwed in. It's got 150 meters water resistance, so it's trying to protect the watch essentially. So if you see this red material underneath the crown, that is supposed to show you that it hasn't been fully screwed in. The crown hasn't fully been screwed in. However, even when the crown has been fully screwed in, you can still see a hint of that red, which I don't like. I think that kind of cheapens the look of the watch. But again, very nitpicky. It's very difficult to see from the front, but from behind you can see it. You're not going to be looking at the watch from behind, but you can still see a little bit of that red from the front, which I don't mind. It's such a small thing, such a small thing to overlook when you talk about the rest of the watch. So those are the two negatives. So many positives, and honestly, in conclusion, is this C65 Dune Bronze worth your money? Honestly, it is. It's charming, it's rugged, it's different, it's unique. This dial, I've fallen in love with this dial, and it really looks as good as it does compared to the pictures online. So don't hesitate. There are loads of bronze watches out there. This is the watch that made me want to get a bronze watch in the first place. But there are very few bronze watches at this price point that gives you this level of finishing, design thought, and the chronometer level accuracy. I think that trifecta there, the finishing, the design, and then the accuracy of the movement for £1,000, for me, It's the best in its category, and I will be getting one, I think. I really do think so. Bronze watch is something that I wanted to bring into the collection to give my collection a bit of variety. And this, if I do get a bronze watch, this is the one I'm getting. So I'm going to be speaking to you, Andrew, hopefully soon. For under £1,000, it's ticking so many boxes, and it's ticking all the right boxes. So there you have it, the C65 Bronze Dune from Christopher Ward. A huge thank you to yourselves for supporting the channel. It's because of you that Christopher Ward obviously sent out this watch. A huge thank you to Christopher Ward for supporting the channel. As I said, they didn't pay me. This is 100% my honest review. If you've liked the review, please like and subscribe. I really appreciate the support. And as always, I've been Jag from Jags Watches, and remember, timing is everything. Peace.